Hi students, today we are reading about the Twilight Zone, the second zone layer in the ocean. The first layer is the sunlight zone. It is closest to the top where the sun comes through. Then the next layer down is called the Twilight Zone. We will be reading pages 12 through 15 today. The next time we read tomorrow will be about the Midnight Zone. All right, let's skip ahead to page 12. All right, 12, the Twilight Zone. The Twilight Zone waters are cold and murky. Only a faint light reaches this ocean layer during the day, and everything appears a dark indigo blue. Water pressure is high, and there is little oxygen. Yet there is plenty of life. Before I continue reading, let's go back to look at all of the ocean zones. The sunlight zone is near the top. It's warm, it's light, because sunlight is coming down and it's able to go through the water. This is where most of the life is. Now we are in the Twilight Zone. It says here that the Twilight Zone is from 660 feet to 3,000 feet with faint light. The Continental Slope dips into the ocean. This is the zone we are reading about today. As we just read, it does get a little bit darker and murky, but there is plenty of life. It says that this fish is called a coelacanth. I'll have to check that. Once thought to be extinct. That's pretty neat. I wonder who rediscovered this fish. Scavengers. Many creatures in the Twilight Zone are scavengers. This means they feed on tiny pieces of dead algae and fish matter that sink down from the sunlight zone above. The sunlight zone is so rich in life that the Twilight Zone creatures flourish on a feast of their debris. Their debris or their, I don't want to say they're garbage, but pieces from the sunlight zone they don't need that falls through to the bottom. In Minnesota, we have scavengers in our lakes. Can you think of any? I'm thinking right away of, what are those fish called? Not catfish. I'll have to see if it comes to me. They are bottom feeders. Carp. That's what they're called. In Minnesota, we have scavengers that live on the bottom of the lake. They're called carp, and they eat trash, unfortunately, from humans. They eat little pieces of algae and seaweed and fish. They just kind of eat whatever's on the bottom. That's kind of similar, the carp, to the animals in this Twilight Zone layer because they're scavengers. They don't find their own food sources. They rely on other animals to leave little bits and pieces behind, and that's what they eat. A couple pages ago, we read about the Continental Slope. That is the ground that's beneath the ocean. Here, the seabed angles steeply down from the continental shelf. This is called the Continental Slope. Sea creatures cling to it or crawl along it. We saw the Continental Slope back here. We can see that it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. The Continental Slope. Shells and spines. Crustaceans, such as crabs and shrimp species, have hard, flexible exoskeletons protecting their body. Those are shells on the outside. Some scuttle along the seabed, chasing their prey. Others filter plankton and bacteria from the water. The spiny purple sea urchin uses its tentacle suckers, or their tube feet, to breathe, move, and feed. Interesting. Squid Hunt. Huge sperm whales dive down over 3,000 feet through this layer to hunt for giant squid below. These whales find their prey through echolocation, making loud clicking sounds that hit the squid and bounce back to them. This tells the whales where the giant squid are. This says whales send and receive sound. Sometimes humans will attach equipment to monitor the whale sound. That's how we can hear them. Spark in the dark. Many creatures in these dark depths make their own blue, green, or red bioluminescent light to attract prey or a mate. The female anglerfish extends the spine of her back fin above her own head like a fishing rod. At the end, a light made of glowing bacteria lures her prey in. How interesting. Exploring the seabed. Readers, I just wanted to point out that I am going to start reading on this side. Normally, readers, we start reading at the top left to the right, from the top down. However, this nonfiction book has a large title here. So I'm going to start reading on this side today. The Twilight Zone is a very exciting place for oceanography, the study of our oceans. Scientists observe sea creatures from microorganisms to the giant squid and watch for signs of climate change on Earth. There are 3 areas here. We see the mid-ocean ridge, the first explorers, and deep sea diving. I will let you read this on your own because I'm running out of time on the video. Before we move on, let's look at this side. I spy a giant squid. It says this giant squid's eyeball is about the size of a dinner plate. Wow. I would not want to run into that squid in real life. Carbon sinks. Scientists lower instruments to measure the amount of carbon dioxide in the oceans. Too much carbon in the atmosphere contributes to climate change, but some ocean organisms absorb carbon dioxide, removing it from the atmosphere. Interesting. The microscopic copepod excretes its carbon-trapped waste that sinks to the ocean depths. Interesting. We'll read this last paragraph together. Breakthrough film. Filming in the Twilight Zone is difficult, but in 2013, a Japanese crew took the first ever images of a giant squid. A team of 3 carried out 100 or so missions in a submersible, or a submarine, to capture the 10-foot cephalopod. Wow, huge! They followed it down to over 2,900 feet. The pressure at such depths is so huge and the territory is so unknown that the crew filmed from inside the 3-man Triton submersible. Wow, so this is the machine that they explored in. Very cool. All right, so students, if you want, please reread these 2 pages before you answer questions about the Twilight Zone on Seesaw.